Hi friends. So I'm still deep in trying to figure out like two major things in my life, which is where am I going to live and what am I going to do for work. And during this time, I'm trying to find all the ways that support me to feel like I can be more grounded and more in my body, because when I'm thinking about all these things, I'm going into places of worry and stress and anxiety and doubt. So I've started seeing a tantric coach, and the reason that I'm seeing her is that a lot of the work that she does is about helping you get in touch with your body, like really understanding what is your truth, what is your body trying to tell you. And because this is the name of the game, this is what I'm working on, is finding ways to be able to do that. She has been a really incredible resource. And during our last session, she asked me a question about what was happening. And she said, how do you feel? And I said, I feel worried, I feel anxious, I feel like I'm afraid to make the wrong decision. And she paused and she said, but how do you feel? And I was like, well, that's how I feel. She's like, no, but how do you feel? And it's such a small distinction, but it made a huge difference. So I actually stopped and I closed my eyes and I started doing a scan. Initially, I was really frustrated. I was like, I don't know, that's how I feel. But with her encouragement, I stopped and I was like, okay, but how do I really feel? And I just dropped my shoulders, allowed myself to breathe, and it took me a long time to kind of pull out of the naming of those feelings. And what I started to do was do a body scan. So with that body scan, I was trying to figure out like how to describe it, because when I first started doing like a body scan, I would close my eyes, and if I imagine my eyes, I'd be like, okay, well, I would place my attention on my eyeballs because I see. I think that's why I'm doing that. So I placed the attention initially on my eyeballs. And so it was very in front of my body. Does that make sense? Like here and in front. So I felt like I needed to try something different. So what I did was I went to my eyeballs and then I imagined, I'm doing it now, like the circumference of that area. Does that make sense? So thinking about not just the front, but the sides, the back, and the center. And that way it gave me kind of like a three-dimensional, like tuning in to that area. And so that worked well. So I went down my body. And initially I did it really quickly. I was like, I was sitting there and I thought, okay, eyes, neck, shoulders, chest, stomach, hips, legs. And I went all the way down. And I just felt like, I got nothing. Like I don't feel anything in the way of nothing unique, like nothing standing out. Like, yes, I have some aches and pains, but that was kind of all that was standing out for me. So I decided to do it again, but I'll do it just a little bit slower. And something really interesting happened. What I found was that I did the same thing. I started from my head. I did that tuning in to the area behind my eyes. But I went a little slower. I went then to my nose. And then I went like to my mouth, and I imagined like the back of my head. I imagined my teeth. I tried to do the whole circumference. I hope that's making sense, because it definitely helped me to change the way I was tuning in to feel my body. And then I went through the whole body, went all the way down. And I wanted to say, with frustration, nothing is different. But I thought, I'm gonna do, did I think? No, I think I allowed it to be uncomfortably long. And I said to her, the only thing I feel is this slight area of openness from my neck to my shoulder. It's like a little band. Like it just felt like this little band. And that was it. That's all I could feel. And I said, I just feel this slight sense of like everything kind of felt tense. It was the only area that felt this sense of like opening, like that. That's all, like physically it wasn't like this, but it felt like that. Like it was more, instead of being here, it was really open. And she said to me at the end that that could be the slight opening to like to peacefulness, to trust, to, there was something else she said. I'm going to leave it with those two because those two really stuck out for me, but that sense of like trusting that part of my body. So now I'm kind of using it as my like, well, I was going to say secret, but here I am telling you guys about it. But I'm using it when I feel like the tension come in, or I feel frustrated, or I feel scared, and I will just imagine that area and I'll send like warmth to it. And when I say warmth, let me see, how do I describe that? I just kind of imagine like sunlight hitting it, like just imagining warmth on that area. Sometimes I can do that, sometimes I can't. Truly, in the beginning, I would just think, just if I would start to get tense, I would imagine that little secret spot. And it's almost like I would talk to it like, I hear you, I got you. And I would just like allow that shoulder to relax and focus on that little area. It was a fascinating discovery and something that I have been using every day since. And it's really helped. Even when I wake up from sleeping and I'm feeling tense and I'm feeling like, oh, I can't, oops. Even when I wake up when I've been sleeping and I feel tense and worried, and I try and use all the ways to relax, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just send like intention to that area and just like send some love, like it's okay. It's okay, you can relax that area. And the nice thing about it is that instead of trying to think about relaxing the whole body, all I need to focus on is relaxing that one spot. So yeah, this has been a really interesting find for me. So I wanted to share it. And just, again, however you do this, but give yourself, from what I've learned within this, is give yourself the space and the time to like slow down into it. And if you have to do what I did, like allow it to be uncomfortably long, but just slow the scan down and just look for, or just tune into. I'm going to use both, tune into and look for those parts of like openness or release or relaxation, and just use it as your like little secret power, your little secret spot to focus on when you're feeling like worried or anxious. Or even for me, it's like how to tune in to my body's yes. If I think about a question, even right now, I'm kind of using it around, where do I want to live? And if I think about different options, I just relax that part, that little zone, and I just try to listen a little bit more. Just trying to listen to that one spot. So I hope that helps. I found it really useful, and I hope you do too. So give it a shot and just see, is there a little area of your body that is, I don't know, your little truth spot?